I'm very pleased to introduce Harriet Burdett-Moulton, recipient of a 2021 Carleton University honorary degree. For more than 40 years, she's had a distinguished career in architecture, especially centered on Indigenous peoples and the Canadian Arctic. She is from Labrador and spent her early life in a traditional nomadic lifestyle. Ms. Burdett-Moulton was the first architect to practice in what is now Nunavut. She has led more than 150 design projects across northern Canada with an emphasis on honoring Inuit heritage and culture. In 2016, she was made a Fellow of the Royal Architectural Institute of Canada and is also a member of the Institute's Indigenous Task Force. She's received many honors in her career. In 2018, Ms. Burdett-Moulton represented Canada at the Architectural Venice Biennale as a member of the Royal Architectural Institute's Indigenous Task Force. I would like to extend our most sincere congratulations to Dr. Burdett-Moulton from all of us at Carleton University.
Udlakut, I am honored and humbled to accept this honorary doctorate from Carleton University. I'd like to thank Madam Chancellor, Mr. President, Chair of the Board of Governors, graduates, and honored guests. I recognize that these are very strange social times, and I would like to thank everybody that's joining us virtually. Others have inspired me to be here today. My father, who didn't have the opportunity to go to a formal school, he was a very imaginative builder and got me to straighten bent nails for his job sites before I was even old enough to go to school. Vlad Lineman, my first architectural design professor, one day when I was not feeling so perky, said, "Harriet, don't give up." I had a student once who couldn't touch a pencil without getting a smudge of lead on her nose, and she's now a successful architect in New York. My husband, a mechanical engineer who strongly believes in equal rights, has pushed my envelope to the limit. My kids, who thought growing up it was normal to sleep under conference room tables. All my friends, co-workers, clients have added a paver into this path to the honorary doctorate. It means a great deal to me. As I mentioned, my father didn't go to school a day in his life. My mother went to a residential school until grade 3, and she was so determined that her kids not go to residential school that we moved to a community of Cartwright before I went to school. Prior to that, I led a traditional nomadic life. We had a house in the wooded area for protection in winter, a house in a bay where we salmon fished in the spring and hunted in the fall, and we had a house out on the coast where we cod fished in the summer. This means a great deal to me because my family had no opportunity for education. They believed firmly in education because they thought it was, they considered it a means of survival in a modern world. Graduates, this day is about you. You have put most of your formal learning behind you, but not all of it. Learn from everybody that you meet. Many of them will give you information and take little bits from everyone. You are entering a world that's very different from anything that I know, and you may be called upon in the future to craft some of that new social order that you're entering. A good friend of mine graduated 10 years ago from Carleton. He now manages the first architectural firm in the Eastern Arctic, and he has designed and built a beautiful aquatic center there. He is now in the process of finishing the first phase of an $80 million healing correctional center. So the opportunities that you will come to you, graduates, may not be the ones that you're thinking of at the moment. They're going to be something probably quite different from what you are imagining. I will tell you a few tips. They are from an architectural perspective. Take them with a grain of salt and put your own twist on them. Collaborate with your clients. Not just listen to them, but design with them and not for them. Everyone has a voice. They all want it to be heard. If you listen to your client's voice, they will reward you for that. And that is where repeat clients come from. Mediate with other disciplines. Work with them. Bring them in at the very beginning of a project so that they are part of the team. They are all necessary for a successful project. And think of it like a team of dogs that if they all go in a straight line, they get you there smoothly and quickly. That's something that is very useful in a project. Your reputation is something that can be very valuable to you as an architect. Like Shakespeare said, "He who steals my purse steals trash. He who filches my good name robs me and leaves me very poor indeed." Your reputation is where your new clients will come from. Respect others. They all have an opinion, and when you go on the job site, you may want to be a know-it-all because you have a formal education, but many of them have age and experience. Listen to them. Don't demean them. Don't look down on them, and don't treat them as lesser than you in your work or in your communications. Many architects, engineers, and artists often lose money and sometimes respect because they let deadlines slip. Be conscious of your deadlines. Don't leave anything to the last moment or to chance. Personal interaction is something not to be afraid of, although COVID is making many of us a little hesitant. Electronic communications is fantastic. Emails have a tendency to spiral in the negative. Don't be afraid to pick up a phone and talk to people or set up a meeting. Any personal connection often has the ability to break that spiral downward in communications. Smile. You can hear that in a telephone call. You see it on a face. When I did my architectural exams in Prince Edward Island, I had to do them as orals in front of a panel of 5 senior architects, all male. Before I entered the room, I remember being petrified, and I remember standing there and going, and smiling, turning the doorknob and entering. That has worked for me well throughout my career. Graduates, architecture is kind of a field that's very high profile. And you look at other architects and you think they have great style, pizzazz, the whole bit. Don't be afraid of that. Do what you enjoy doing best to the very best of your ability, and your style will be in your stamp. I would like to say in closing, enjoy your work. Do it to the best of your ability. And I wish you the very best of luck in your new work and your new work structure. Nakamik Muraluk.